determination, a knowledge of self.
We must work passionately and unrelentingly for first-class citizenship.
For instance, if the average so-called Negro, he doesn't think that he can go into business and provide jobs for himself.
We've got to get smart. We've got to organize.
And because of this, he thinks that he can only get a job from the white man, or he can only get clothes from the white man, or he can only get food from the white man.
We've got to organize so effectively and so well and engage in such powerful, creative protest that there will not be a power in the world that can stop us.
We gotta be proud to be black. Don't worry about what they say. We gotta think smarter and live smarter. We gotta want more and work harder, cause they ain't giving it to us. Put your all in. If you truly wanna make it, can't be waiting for handouts, baby, you gotta take it. Like Martin gotta have a dream, cause he had one. Like Malcolm, by any means, gotta get that done. Don't be ashamed of who you are. Stick your chest out proud. Make them believe that you're the best. Show them what you about. We gotta love each other. Stop killing each other. We gotta unitize and don't believe the lies. This is a message to the blacks and any other minority. Live well and love self. That's the priority.
Been taught for so many centuries that they are nobody is not easy.
So they very skillfully made you and me hate our African identity.
Maybe the English language should be reconstructed so that teachers will not be forced to teach the Negro child 60 ways to despise himself and thereby perpetuate his false sense of
And
inferiority.
hating our features and our skin and our blood, while we had to end up hating ourselves. It made us feel inferior.
We must no longer be ashamed of being black.
See, Jumbo, everybody, we welcome you all back to Satora's Black History Corner internet program. I am your host, Catherine Hunter Williams, and this is my co-host.
Catherine Blake, everybody.
I don't know if I want to call her Miss Blake, Sister Blake, Sister Fred.
Hello, everybody.
But she's my co-host, Miss Catherine Blake. All right. As y'all all know, March is Women's History Month, and as some of you know, March 7th, 2015 was the beginning of the 50th anniversary jubilee, which is a commemoration of the brutal police beating of the civil rights demonstrators who were marching on Selma's Edmund Pettus Bridge from Selma to Montgomery, Alabama on March 7th, 1965. And I heard that was a 50-mile walk.
Yeah,
Wow. That's some kind of walk. And they did it.
they did it.
They did it. That's how determined they were back then.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? It seems like to me we're going reversing because it's open season on our men
Yeah.
and our boys. I mean, you every week now you're seeing somebody. They just did a guy named Robinson, Tony Robinson,
Mm-hmm.
unarmed and just shot him. You know, so, and then last week it was the homeless guy. And we seeing this. So it's like, we're not done yet. That's all I want to say. We still got some more to do. The televised coverage of these brutal beatings quickened the passage of the Voters' Right Act, allowing American Africans the right to vote today. That's why I don't understand why they would not get out and vote.
Yeah.
It's why them sagging pants. But anyway, they just don't really know our history. I think that's what it's all about. If you know our history, it's just some things you just ain't gonna do.
Right.
No. Anyway, for the rest of this, well, I was gonna say for the rest of this month, Miss B is gonna tell our story about this infamous day called Bloody Sunday, and of some of the women who were in the civil rights movement during that time, and of those who marched and were beaten on that bridge that day. But I had forgot that we are having a special guest, Mark Baldwin, who will be on here on the 23rd, and he's going to be talking about the Flint water, because the water here in Flint is not drinkable, not bathable. You can't shower in it. You ain't supposed to do nothing in it. Says it's got TTHM, which can cause cancer. So I'm going to bring in him to discuss it with us and move forward. So today, Miss B is going to tell our story about two awesome women
Amen.
that she knows and had studied their history, and she's going to bring it to us today. All right, Miss B, you ready?
Oh, yes,
All
yes,
right.
yes. Hello, everybody. This is Amelia Boynton Robinson. She was born Amelia Platts Boynton, and she was born August the 18th, 1911. She is an American woman who was a leader of the American Civil Rights Movement in Selma, Alabama, and she was a key figure in the 1965 march that became known as Bloody Sunday. Amelia was born in Savannah, Georgia, to George and Anna Platts, both whom were African American, Cherokee, and German descent. She became involved as a girl in campaigning for women's suffrage. So that's another one we're going to add to our suffrage event. Her family was serious about education. She attended 2 years at Georgia State College, now known as Savannah State University, a historically black college, and after 2 years transferred and graduated from Tuskegee Institute, now known as Tuskegee University, and she entering a degree in home economics, and she later studied in Tennessee. But I wanted to let you know that she was a leader of the American Civil Rights Movement from the Selma, Alabama, the Selma to Montgomery March.
Okay.
That was important.
She was one of the leaders.
She was one of the ladies. There were 5 women that were involved in developing this march. Because there were a lot of people that thought only men were involved. No, there were 5 women.
There's always women. You can't leave us out. Men
Always.
can't do it. They may try, but they can't.
Yes.
No.
They were civil rights movement women, and they were in the mode to make a movement to guarantee rights, and they were doing some of the things that you would when you read about these women, and to feel where their mind was at the time, and to come up and develop and create all of these different entities to make this movement viable. These women were on point. They were really on point. Who would have thought of a march from Selma to Montgomery?
Well, they had done prior marches.
Yeah, but these were, and women were involved with that too. They were involved with it.
Well, like I just said, first off, I think this is the year for the women.
Absolutely.
I think we're going to rise, and because we're watching our sons die. We're watching our husbands, brothers get shot by the police. That's another form of police brutality. So in my newsletter, I've been writing about the women are going to rise. This is our year. And sometimes it takes, you got to have that mentality, that mind to want to make a change.
Right.
And then when you get into it, you can't do it a day or two or a couple weeks.
It takes time.
You got to stick with it. Like I said earlier, those people marched 50 miles.
50 miles.
They didn't, I don't know how they did it, but they did.
Oh, they had their backpacks, they had their food, they had their water.
Everything. They would stop and take breaks.
Yes, they did.
But they did it.
They did it.
Yeah.
And one thing that was really so interesting was this woman was able to, she didn't march, but she was in the march in a wheelchair. And somebody wheeled her along the way.
Okay.
She's
also
still
has
alive.
a book called Bridge Over Jordan.
Yes.
Okay, so, if y'all want to get her book, her name is Amelia
Boynton Robinson. Remember her.
She wrote a couple of books. These were some strong women, but we have strong women now.
Yes, we do.
But it's more so the older women. And I'm talking about y'all young women. Because y'all need to get in the mix.
Absolutely.
These is your husbands, your brothers, your uncles, your fathers that are being killed out here today.
Your boyfriends, absolutely.
Thank you. You need to get in the mix. Y'all need to get y'all mind together because something is funky going on to me.
Well, not
what
only
I'm seeing happening here.
Are our black men losing their lives devastating that way, but they're also losing their lives to heart disease. there are more black men that are dying from that. Heart disease, drugs. There's so many things that are taking our black men away from us.
Yeah, but
Young
right
women,
now,
it is time for y'all to stand up and start eating healthier, taking care of your men, making wise choices, making better decisions. Everybody's got to stand up and make better choices.
yeah, they can make all the better choices they want to. But if you can walk in with your hands in your pants and he tell you to take your hands out your pants and you don't take your hands out your pants, you could be shot. Come on, Catherine. This is real because I'm seeing it weekly. They're letting us see something every week now. And that may be what we get caught on camera and gets on the stream, YouTube or whatever. Some of those things don't get caught on camera.
That's true.
So
That's true.
this is a different type of fight here. And I think the women, it is a frame of mind that you have to get into. I grew up in the 50s and 60s, so I know that frame of mind when you need to fight for your rights. Stop killing our men. So as they walking around with their hands up, that's unarmed. Boys are walking around, we want to grow up. We want them to grow up. So let's, it's got to change. This has got to change because it seems to be not de-escalating, but escalating to more and more and more. And what I heard about in Ferguson, what they were doing to them is making them, if they jaywalked, gave them a $150 ticket. They were making money off of racism.
Well, they doing that in Detroit too.
That's everywhere, isn't it?
Yeah, my son was telling me about this young friend of his that just got out of jail because now there's snow everywhere, right?
Yeah.
There's snow on the sidewalks that haven't been shoveled. But if you're walking in the street and you're going the wrong way, the police are going to give you a ticket. And they put the young man in jail.
You can also
he was in jail for overnight.
Ride the bike. If you ride the bike a wrong way, they can get you. I mean, these is little petty things that they're doing. And it's it's just time for us. It's time for us to come out from under this. I feel for our children, their children, it's time for this to stop. Let us come up with equality. Treat us right. We ain't doing nothing to them.
Well, from what I understand, there is the investigation of the Ferguson Police Department has shown the discrepancies, all the disparities, and all the craziness against black people there. So if they have to, that department will be dismantled.
Is that Ferguson or what about Cleveland?
Ferguson.
They up here saying that little boy, his name is Tamar Rice, that he bought that on himself. It's crazy. Anyway, we got to move forward.
Yes, we do.
Because
the Miss Annie Lee Cooper was another one.
But she telling
was
you about
else.
some strong women, that's all.
Oh, she clocked that the sheriff.
That's okay. If y'all went to see Selma at the movie, Oprah Winfrey was the one who played her
Annie
part.
Lee Cooper, right.
And you know what she did? I told Catherine, it reminded me of when she clocked that policeman or that woman in the color purple and how they beat her so bad. So, because it was like the same movie, but that's who played Annie Lee Cooper.
Yeah, Annie Lee Cooper,
hit her,
yeah.
and she hit him back. I mean,
well, he hit her with a billy club.
Yeah, but she hit him back.
And she hauled off and clocked him in the jaw.
So I see why Oprah put that in there.
Yes,
that woman in there.
Well, she was in line to register to vote. She wasn't harming anyone. She wasn't, and she was in line a long time, a very long time. And the sheriff told her to leave. And she said, I haven't registered yet. He told her to leave, and she said, I'm not leaving until I register. And he said, one more time, leave.
And she knows she could have got popped. She knew. She didn't cut to yes, sir. And move away.
She didn't. No, she didn't.
She stood her ground.
Yes, she did.
She knew what was going to happen.
Yeah, and she got beaten pretty bad.
Yeah, she did.
She did. But thank God for strong women like that.
John,
they
did her
paid
picture
the
come
way.
out all right? I'm sorry. Did her picture come out all right?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, she was born June the 2nd of 1910, and she passed November 24th in 2010. But she was one of those heavy hitters, and she helped plan that march. She was involved in the march. She was there and she was registering people to vote. That was the main thing that she wanted to do, was to get people registered to vote.
Well, wasn't that the whole point of the march?
That was
Was
it.
to get people
to
the right
register
to
to
vote.
vote.
You know, the whole point of it. That's why, like we was talking about earlier, what is wrong with them with the low turnout of voting. You know, you can't say that your vote don't count, because
Right,
it really does.
does.
You know?
And if you don't vote, it still counts because it goes towards the opposition.
Thank you.
Yes.
Just
And
let
if
you
you-
know that. I
So
mean,
they
even
have
if
no-
you don't vote for nothing, but to realize the people that died
Mhm.
were beaten
Well, they have
for
no
you,
room
for
to
you to get to
complain.
vote.
They have no room to complain. If you're sitting around here complaining about something that you have the power to
change,
you have no room to complain. None. Okay, well, that's our two women.
That's your story?
Mhm.
That's it?
Oh, you want more?
About Annie Cooper?
Oh.
I thought Annie Cooper was going to be some stuff. Okay. But, you know, if you just go see the movie Selma, you will see Oprah Winfrey is the one who played her part.
And Annie Lee Cooper was involved in the civil rights movement more than just the march. Annie Lee Cooper, Diane Nash, and Amelia Boynton Robinson. There's so many women that were involved in this. And not just this march, in the whole civil rights movement. They were definitely involved. Look up these women that were involved.
Just look up the civil rights movement,
Yeah.
period. Because if you really look at it, we're back there again.
Yeah,
If you
right.
don't watch it, you'll be right back there again. I mean, the police has too much power.
And it's almost just like back in those days when they were taking our men and young boys and just hanging them on the whim. And now they can legally shoot them and get away with it.
Yep.
And
Y'all don't remember paddy wagons, do you? Do you remember the paddy wagons?
oh yes, I
I remember the paddy wagons coming down in our neighborhood and taking our fathers and uncles away. So, you know, a lot has changed, but then some things are still the same. And we still have a long way to go.
That's one of the reasons why they wanted this right to vote, to change those laws, to change those policies and procedures that gave police and other people the right to feel that they had the right to destroy your life. If they wanted to destroy your life, they felt like they could do it simply because of the color of your skin.
Do you think it's like they call it an unwritten law or something that's hid there?
Privilege.
That they doing it all around the
Privilege
country?
is privilege.
Just shooting?
White
You know,
privilege.
I was looking in the mirror today, and so as usual, I have to say to myself how beautiful I am. I'm fearfully and I'm wonderfully made. This is the way the Lord made me. So no matter what nobody say, you can say what you think I look like. I'm beautiful to me. But I asked the Lord, I said, Lord, why do they hate us so badly? I was looking at these little girls on television today, 5 years old, and hating their hair. They still hate their hair. They hate the curl in their hair. And I said to myself, well, baby girl, you know, they usually say that if you got some curl in your hair, black or white, Jew or whoever, you got some black in you.
Somewhere.
So, you know, but my thing is they hate their hair. They want their hair that straight, smooth look, you know, and it's not going to happen. They got that curly look.
That's called self-hatred.
It is.
Yeah.
But I just asked the Lord, and one of these days somebody going to come on my program. Maybe I have to bring Dr. Moss on and say, I'm going to bring somebody. Why do they do it, Miss Dr. Moss? Why do they hate us so bad? I mean, I know you could go back into history and everything and find out why, but I want some accurate answers. You know, why do they hate us so bad? Why are we what they call the wretch of the earth?
Well,
And that's all around the world, not just here in America.
Another little a bit about Miss Annie Lee Cooper, when she hit the sheriff, you know, they wanted to charge her with attempted murder after they nearly murdered her. It's not funny, but it's just the way things
are.
the way they thought then.
And it seems to be coming back that way. Even this in Cleveland, they for a traffic violation, they shot up this car, and a man and woman was in it 137 times.
Wow.
That don't make no sense.
Is that overkill or what?
Thank you. But we need to get back to our story. John, are we all right on time?
You got, I got 20. I got like 10, 15 minutes left. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how far you want to go, so yeah,
And she did
we're at 20
get
minutes right now.
registered to
So
vote.
Okay, because I know we kind of started a little late. Did we?
yeah, I started a little bit late. Yeah.
Okay, all right. That's our story about Annie Lee Cooper
Yeah.
and Amelia
Boynton.
Boynton
Robinson. Boynton. It's Boynton
Boynton Robinson.
Robinson.
Boynton
Boynton.
Robinson.
Mhm.
All right.
Mhm.
Now, I will be telling our story about other great American
Yeah, I'm very interested in hearing that.
African women who have made life-changing contributions and achievements for us all, not only in America, but throughout the world.
All right.
Now, this lady, her name is Jarena Lee.
How you spell that?
Jarena.
Oh.
It's pretty, ain't it?
Mhm.
What I liked about her is she's a preacher. And you're going to like this story.
Okay.
Jarena Lee was the first female preacher of the African Methodist Episcopal.
A woman?
She was the first female preacher of the African Methodist Episcopal. Paul, am I saying that right? Church of America. She was approved to preach by Bishop Richard Allen,
Oh,
the
really?
founder of that AME.
Okay.
Hallelujah. Following her pious exhortation during a visiting minister's sermon, she spent many years walking the entire country preaching the gospel. She had her autobiography printed in 1836 and an updated version printed in 1849. Following the events,
18, not 19.
thank you, we going back.
18.
That's why in 1819, this woman was preaching. Okay, she was, like I said, the first woman authorized to preach. You know, and this was by a man. And today, when us women get up here, we have a call on our lives, like they have calls on their lives. They don't want us to get up there. No, she ain't never get up. Ain't no woman gonna ever get up behind my pulpit. They better get over it.
You're absolutely right.
If it wasn't for us women, I don't know, y'all wouldn't even be here.
There's Baptists still feel that way.
Who?
Yeah.
Say that again. It's
Baptists.
Baptist pastors. Yeah, they something. But I'm a Baptist. Well, I'm gonna say I'm a Christian. Okay. Listen though. Despite Allen's blessing, Lee continued to face hostility to her ministry because she was black and a woman.
Wow, double whammy.
Yeah. And this is 1819. Now this is over a century or more ago. And it's still going on. It's some sick people in this world. They need a strong mindset change. She became a traveling minister, and she did this on foot. Thousands of miles. I think she did 27 to 28,000 miles.
Wow.
She walked this in 1 year alone. It says she traveled 2,325 miles and preached 178 sermons. Lee's importance is threefold. First, she exemplifies the 19th century American religious movement focused on personal holiness and sanctification. Second, she left a detailed account of her life of faith that serves as a valuable primary source. Third, she became an eloquent witness to her faith and a pioneer for women seeking license to preach in the Methodist tradition.
Really?
I'm going to tell you something. I got my lay ministry in a Methodist church. Back in the early 90s, I got my license to preach back then. They're very more lenient in the Methodist church than they in Baptist churches. They would lift up their women. They would send them to college and everything because I went through it all and got my license. So, it's like I said, she also has a book called Religious Experiences and Journal of Miss Jarena Lee, a Preaching Woman, in 1819.
Ooh, wow.
Okay. I want to just say this, what she says here in her autobiography. She reveals her extensive work from 1832 to 1833. She says, I commenced my journey for Canada in 1832. She went outside the country. From the 2nd day of July to the 15th day of October 1833, I had preached 138 sermons and traveled between 27 and 2,800 miles on foot. Returned from Brooklyn and attended a quarterly meeting at Flushing. Saturday evening I gave an exhortation and preached Sunday afternoon at 3 o'clock. Lord, Lord. The Lord accompanied the word, and be it remembered, it will be either a savior of life unto life or death unto death. Having finished my first visit, I felt anxious to go to Philadelphia. Feeling my labors to come to a close for the present, I arrived safe at home, found my son and friends all well, and then heard the truth of his conversion, for which I yet give glory to God. That's
Amen.
Our story about preaching woman
Wow.
Jarena Lee. She was born in 1783.
Wow.
Okay, now this is another one of our stories, and we don't hear much about her, and that's Alberta Williams King. A lot of people don't know that she was assassinated too. Okay, Alberta Christine Williams King is the mother of Martin Luther King Jr.'s mother, and the wife of Martin Luther King Sr.
Oh, yeah.
She played a significant role in the affairs of the Ebenezer Baptist Church. She was shot and killed in the church 6 years after the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr.
She was still playing the piano?
Yeah. And why I wanted to speak about her is because a lot of people forgot about her. They don't know about her, that she was also assassinated. And the only reason the guy assassinated her was because he said he didn't like Baptist people. He didn't like people that was, let me read it. Alberta King was shot and killed on June 30th, 1974 by a 23-year-old black man named Marcus Wayne Chenault as she sat at the organ of Ebenezer's Baptist Church. Chenault was a man from Ohio who stated that he shot King because all Christians are my enemies. I'm sorry. That ain't funny, but it's issues. We got some issues going on with us.
Yes, we do.
That's a black man. He said he shot her because all Christians are my enemies.
Mentally ill.
Chenault claimed that he had decided that black ministers were a menace to black people, and that his original target had been Martin Luther King Jr. Sr., but he had decided to shoot his wife instead because she was close to him.
Wow.
One of the church's deacon, Edwin Boykin, was also killed in the attack, and a woman was wounded. So this man was just shooting. Chenault was sentenced to death. Although this sentence was upheld on appeal, he was later resentenced to life in prison, partially as a result of the King family opposition to the death penalty. So he had to spend his life in prison because they didn't believe in the death penalty. On August 3rd, 1995, he suffered a stroke and was taken to a hospital where he died of complications from his stroke.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, whatever. All right, that's our story about Alberta Williams King, who is Martin Luther King Jr.'s mother, who was also assassinated. Our story about Pastor Jarena Lee and
Amelia Boynton Robinson, Annie Lee Cooper, and if you want some other women's names that were involved with the development of the march on Bloody Sunday. You know, it was called Bloody Sunday because that was definitely what it was.
When you go see the movie Selma, you will get a little image of really. It's not
There's
like
a documentary out too of that really shows everything because the movie,
It kind of glanced over it a little bit.
yeah. Now that was Diane Nash, Marie Foster, Faye Bellamy Powell, and Marie Foster. So look those ladies up and see
Just
that
look up
women
a-
were involved. It wasn't just a man's thing. There were some women involved.
And just look up the civil rights movement,
Right.
and you can understand where some of us are today about what's going on and how we feel about the things that's happening right now.
And get involved with registering people to vote. And know your voting laws, because there is where felons can vote in some states.
In
I
some
know that there are
states.
some states that have those restrictions. But look at where you live and remind those that are not registered to vote to register. And even if you've been in jail, incarcerated, or whatever, re-register yourself and become a viable citizen. And vote. 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 You want some changes made? Vote.
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 And that's how you make change.
That's
one
right.
way. Legislation makes change.
That's right.
Of policies. That's another way that we can make changes across this land.
That's
Prayer.
right. Change begins with you.
Prayer makes change also.
Absolutely.
So there's ways to make changes. All right. I sincerely hope you have enjoyed our theme song. I was getting to my mind was going over this way, but I know I need to do this. Our theme song, Be Proud to Be Black, featuring Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X, written by TP the Product. If you would like more information on how to get his CD, contact TP at 810-962-3258. 810-962-3258. Satora's Black History Corner internet program comes to you via satellite at allpointstv.com. You can watch our program every second and fourth Monday of the month, starting at 3:30 p.m. Also, be sure to watch what's going on with political pundit Dr. George Moss every Monday at 2 p.m. As always, I like to say asante, a Swahili word for thanks, to all of you who have watched our program today. And if you like what you have seen and heard, please pass it on to others. Because I think we're the only one doing this here in Flint.
Mm-hmm.
Praise
Well,
the
you
Lord.
know, I heard something on the radio the other day where they were talking about we need more black history, we need more black history. And I said, wow, they don't even know. You put the information out there to let them know that there is somebody doing black
It
history.
is some of us out here working
Yeah.
to keep this alive, our story alive. Because without our story, how you gonna know where you came from, who you are?
Right.
You don't know nothing.
And this
See?
is nothing new for you.
Just like we was talking about Amelia Boynton Robinson, they having a commemoration down in Selma. They marching across that bridge. Are they doing it today?
No, they did it.
They did it Saturday.
Saturday.
Okay,
On the
the 7th.
the 7th. yeah.
Okay, that's a reminder of what happened in our story. That's letting you know that we're going backwards, really. And we can't afford to go backwards. We can't let this all be taken from us.
Right.
You know, but I think it's something, a little secret going on behind this here stuff that's happening, but it's been going on all along. We just really kind of...
But what is wrong with their ears when you tell them there are some people out here that is doing the history moments,
Yeah.
that is doing it? Why won't you listen?
Just tune in to us
Yes.
at allpointstv.com. You know,
Absolutely.
go on YouTube and type in who's giving history about American Africans.
But
and see
you've
who
been
found it.
doing it for so long. Kudos to you, sister, for keeping this dream
It's
alive.
very important.
Yeah, this
It's
is
very
nothing
important.
new for you.
Just, you know, because I know a lot of them, that's why I say a lot of them, the things they be doing is because they don't know our story. If you know our story, you have a pride about yourself. Then you can understand what's going on in the past, what happened to the past, and what's going on today.
Right.
You know, and then you can move forward. And we got to do this. We got children coming up.
Right.
We got to make these changes. We got to come together, y'all. And I don't mean come together in a violent kind of way.
Right.
I mean come together and make a change in a serious type of way for our future generation.
Absolutely.
Do you still want them to keep? We went through it. My daddy went through it. Therefore, do you still want them to keep going through this? It's got to stop somewhere.
Absolutely.
All right, let's gotta move on. We need your support, for without it, we would truly cease to exist. Until next time, my great and strong people, because we are strong, we
Yes,
still
we are.
here.
We're still here.
Keep on keeping on with us. And Hotep, which means peace.
Peace.
Importance of moral reformation, a knowledge of
We
self.
must work passionately and unrelentingly for first-class citizenship.
For instance, if the average so-called Negro, he doesn't think that he can go into business and provide jobs for himself.
We've got to get smart. We've got to organize.
And because of this, he thinks that he can only get a job from the white man, or he can only get clothes from the white man, or he can only get food from the white man.
We've got to organize so effectively and so well and engage in such powerful, creative protest that there will not be a power in the world that can stop us.
We gotta be proud to be black. Don't worry about what they say. Gotta think smarter and live smarter. We gotta want more and work harder, cause they ain't giving it to us. Put your all in. If you truly wanna make it, can't be waiting for handouts, baby, you gotta take it. Like Martin gotta have a dream, cause he had one. Like Malcolm, by any means, gotta get that done. Don't be ashamed of who you are. Stick your chest out proud. Make them believe that you're the best. Show them what you about. We gotta love each other. Stop killing each other. We gotta unitize and don't believe the lies. This is a message to the blacks and any other minority. Live well and love self. That's the priority.
Been taught for so many centuries that there are nobody is not easy.
So they very skillfully made you and me hate our African identity.
Maybe the English language should be reconstructed so that teachers will not be forced to teach the Negro child 60 ways to despise himself and thereby perpetuate his false sense of
And
inferiority.
hating our features and our skin and our blood, while we had to end up hating ourselves. It made us feel